We've all hit that wall. You pour your energy into changing your life, trying to build a new habit, secure a better job, or break a toxic pattern. But no matter how hard you push, the progress slides right back, leaving you exhausted and staring at the exact same negative results. It feels incredibly unfair, and it happens because we tend to map out our goals on a straight line. We assume getting what we want is a simple matter of walking from point A, wanting the thing, to point B, getting the thing. But human reality does not operate on a straight line. It functions as a closed-loop system, governed by the reality feedback loop. The cycle starts at a specific origin point, our perceptions. The way you perceive a situation will immediately trigger a corresponding set of feelings and beliefs. Those internal feelings dictate how you act in the physical world. Your behaviors then generate your lived experiences. Finally, the loop closes. That lived experience feeds directly back into your original perception, proving to your brain that your initial assessment was right all along. Because this circuit is entirely self-supporting, any attempt to force a new experience without changing the starting perception simply reinforces the existing loop. To see a different result at the end of the chain, you have to update the internal starting code. Think about what usually happens when we deeply desire something. The default emotion we feed into the top of that loop is lack. We fixate on the painful, undeniable fact that we do not currently possess what we want. The system processes that input exactly as designed. The persistent feeling of not having enough hardens into a core belief. We start to internalize the idea that the goal is out of reach or that we simply aren't worthy of it. Armed with those limiting beliefs, we move through our day making unconscious micro-decisions. We hesitate to send the email, we pull away from a relationship, or we skip the necessary practice. We engage in subtle, automatic sabotage. Those hesitant actions generate very real physical consequences. Opportunities dry up, relationships stall. The exact negative outcomes we feared materialize around us, perfectly validating our initial perception of lack. So when you find yourself falling short of your goals, you aren't actually failing at all. You are in fact operating a perfectly functional machine, and it is accurately building exactly what you told it to build. To change what the machine produces, you have to swap out the raw materials. Instead of feeding it lack, you must input the exact feeling of already possessing the thing you desire. You have to start operating as if the goal is a present fact of your life. Logic immediately kicks in here. How are you supposed to genuinely feel what it's like to have something you have never actually experienced? The answer lies in the architecture of desire itself. The very fact that you want something means you possess an internal blueprint for it. Every desire splits into two contrasting halves, the heavy burden of lack and the bright anticipation of having it. Locate the positive spark inside the wanting. Isolate the specific emotion of achieving the goal, nurturing that feeling until it drowns out the anxiety. Every craving you have inherently contains the emotional seeds of its own fulfillment. Plucking that specific positive spark from the pain of wanting is the only way to formulate a new starting condition for your loop. But sometimes that positive spark is buried too deep. Years of conditioning and rigid self-doubt act like a firewall, completely blocking you from feeling worthy of the experience. When you hit that wall, you can use the success of others as a bridge to access that feeling state, bypassing your own internal resistance. Instead of picturing yourself, you vividly imagine someone you love or deeply admire achieving the exact goal you're aiming for. Picture them holding the prize, getting the promotion, or finding absolute peace. We rarely question whether the people we care about deserve good things. By watching them succeed in your mind's eye, you generate genuine feelings of excitement and joy without ever triggering your own personal insecurities. Your internal circuitry does not distinguish between joy generated for a friend and joy generated for yourself. By delighting in their imagined success, you introduce the required positive emotional input into your own feedback loop. Once you secure that positive input, the operational requirement is simple but rigorous. You have to hold on to it. You must consistently maintain that manufactured feeling of having the goal more frequently than you entertain the familiar feeling of lacking it. As you sustain that emotional state, the new input cascades downward, reshaping your beliefs and steering your behaviors. The cycle actively reinforces this new truth, prompting new responses from the world and manufacturing physical experiences to match your new perception. By taking conscious control of the input, the loop ceases to be a psychological prison and becomes an engine of creation. We often focus on the physical objects we want to acquire, but the true objective of any manifestation is the internal feeling state we believe that object will provide. Because the reality feedback loop is powered by this internal signal, generating it on command means you've secured the essential component of your reality. In this sense, you already possess the core of your desire. You don't have to wait for the external world to grant you permission to feel successful, to be loved, or totally secure. The purpose of life is to intentionally express those passions and experience who you truly want to be right now. The power to build reality has always belonged to you. The life you desire is already a dormant part of your present experience. It is simply waiting for you to choose the right feeling.